What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. And this time we're taking a look at Kindergarten Cop, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm going to make this review as short and sweet as I possibly can. I love Kindergarten Cop. This movie is great. I have issues with it, like I do any other movie, but Kindergarten Cop to me is one of Arnold's best movies. I remember watching this movie when I was a kid. Loved it then, love it now. So in this movie, Arnold plays a cop called John Kimball who goes undercover as a kindergarten teacher. That is the overall basic plot line of the movie. Let's talk about it. From a casting standpoint, I think John Kimball is one of Arnold's best characters. I love the character of John Kimball, and I love how we get to see two versions of this character. When we first see John Kimball, he is just as rugged as they come. And then when we see him again, he becomes a kindergarten teacher, and it's a complete switcheroo. And Arnold does a good job at playing the same character with different types of personalities. Like when he's the rugged John Kimball, he comes across as a complete badass. When he has to play the teacher John Kimball, you can tell that he's overwhelmed by the kindergartners who are more threatening to him than the perps he chases after. And I like how we see the progression of him growing into his role as the kindergarten teacher and him developing a bond with the kids who he refers to as monsters for his first couple of days as a teacher. So, and I think that's actually some of the movie's best parts is Arnie with the kids and him bonding with the kids, and we get this nice little montage where he takes them to police school, and it's fun stuff. And after we really see the bonding with Arnie and the kids, and I thought his performance all around was fantastic. Uh, the supporting cast that surrounds him, you have Richard Tyson, Pamela Reed, and Penelope Ann Miller. I think all of them play their roles exceptionally well. Richard Tyson plays the villain Cullen of the movie, and now Cullen, he's pretty much on a quest to try and find his son, who he's been on a search for the past 5 years. While all the while, his ex-wife pretty much went into hiding with their son because Cullen is a very dangerous man, and he will do anything he can to get information on his kid to the point where he will kill people and beat people up. So yeah, Cullen is a bad dude, and I thought Richard Tyson did a good job playing the character of Cullen. Now, there's long stretches of this movie where the Cullen character is completely out of the movie. Um, we pretty much see Cullen at the beginning of the movie, and then the entire middle part he is completely gone, and he doesn't come back to like the third act. I think we could have had a little bit more scenes with Cullen Pepper throughout the movie. To be honest with you, he doesn't really come across as a legitimate threat because we don't really see enough. Penelope Ann Miller, who plays the love interest for Arnold, I thought she did a good job. I think her and Arnie have good on-screen chemistry with one another, and I buy the relationship. And Pamela Reed, who plays Phoebe, Arnie's partner, I like the duo. I like Arnie, and I like Kimball and Phoebe. I think they got really good comedic chemistry with one another, and it really shows when they're having dinner with Penelope Ann Miller's character and her son Dominic at a restaurant. That's where she really gets to show her comedic chops, where she does a fake Austrian accent posing as Kimball's sister. It's really, really funny. It's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, along with Arnie bonding with the kids during as his stint as a kindergarten teacher. So all that stuff is great, with the exception of the underutilization of the Cullen character not coming off much of a threat. I mean, his mother is more of a threat than he is, and his mother has more screen time, to be honest with you. Grandma Cullen. Some of my complaints with this movie suffers from a tonal shift. The first half of this movie, kind of grim, kind of dark. And then once you go to the town of Astoria, Oregon, it becomes a comedy. The tonal shift for this movie is really, really jarring and very, very glaring because this movie does have a lot of dark moments. I mean, we have a scene where a girl who Arnie is trying to use as a witness, she ODs, and you get a full front, and you get a full shot of her dead corpse, and it's kind of for a movie like this where it has a lot of comedic moments, it comes across as really, really jarring and just really, really weird. So yeah, like the tonal shift for this movie's tonal inconsistency really shows. But I think as a whole, Ivan Reitman, the director, who also did Ghostbusters 1 and 2, I overall think Reitman did a great job directing this movie. But aside from the tonal stuff, when Reitman's directing the comedy, he is spot on. Reitman's a great comedy director. That goes with Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, and Kindergarten Cop is no exception. When this movie is, doing its comedic bits, it's great. When it's doing its action bits, it's good for what it is. Even though I think even though I think there are moments where this movie can get a little too dark for its own good, it kind of clashes with the lighthearted tone in a lot of scenes as well. It's like it doesn't know what it wants to be. It doesn't know if it wants to be a lighthearted comedy or a gritty crime drama. It's a weird mesh. It's a weird mess of a tone, and it's very glaring. It's very jarring, and and I can understand how it can take people out of it here and there. But overall, I think the movie is really, really entertaining. This is one of Arnold's best. This boasts some of his most famous one-liners, like "Who is your daddy? What did you do? It's not a tumor." Classic stuff like that. And John Kimball, to me, is one of Arnold's best on-screen action stars. But this movie really gets to show Arnie's more comedic side, and Arnie has always been a very underappreciated when it comes to comedic timing because the man is really, really funny. You can even go back to his action movies of the '80s. Those had a lot of comedic elements to it. You know, Arnie always had an on-screen charm and an on-screen charisma to him. He comes across as just very, very likable. Even when he's playing a villain, he comes across as very likable, just in general. In this movie, it's no exception. I love it. I think it's great. So yeah, those are my quick thoughts on Kindergarten Cop. A lot more to talk about, but I'm just going to leave it at there. Overall, to me, Kindergarten Cop gets a solid 8 out of 10. I'm not going to give it a 9 because the tonal shifts. I don't like the tonal shift, and the Cullen character is completely underutilized. But everything else I like. You know, I like the fact that the Kimball character pretty much bonds with his nemesis wife, ex-wife, and child. And the movie never really makes light of the fact that you're falling for your enemy's family. It never brings that up, which is kind of weird to me. But overall, I like the movie. It's great. 8 out of 10. So yeah, those are my quick thoughts on Kindergarten Cop. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.